Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple A's podcast. I am your host who bleeds, Purple and Gold, Isaac here. Well, your Minnesota Vikings season has officially come to an end as in the wild card round in Arizona, they fall to the Rams. Final score of 27-9. And the rest of everybody, this is absolutely very disappointing, man. I am absolutely disappointed from last night and what happened. And yeah, I'm just really disappointed. Just I'll give a few shout outs to some players that really showed up. I thought the run game was really good. 109 yards on the ground, 5.4 yards a carry. TJ Hawkinson had 5 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he played great. He absolutely played great out of the receivers. Justin Jefferson, 5 for 58. Jalen Naylor, 3 catches for 33 yards. Cam Akers had 5 runs for 39 yards, was the best running back. I mean, Aaron Jones did have a solid game, too. I will give him credit for that. He had a pretty solid game himself. And the defense, I mean, they played lights out almost the entire way, man. I mean, the first 2 drives by the Rams offense, it looked like it was going to be a bad day by the defense. But the defense adjusted. They adjusted really well with how they were going to do things. And they shut down the Rams offense the entire way. The rest of the way after those 2 drives, and in terms of like true points, they only held the Rams to 3 points. I mean, they only really held them to 13 overall. So the Vikings defense, they did their job. They did absolutely what they needed to do. And they gave this offense opportunity after opportunity. It's just a shame that it had to be wasted like this. Blake Cashman was the leading in tackles. He led the team in tackles. Both linebackers played really solid last night. Blake Cashman and Ivan Pace Jr., they played awesome. I mean, they were good in the run game and in the passing game. I mean, I don't know what more they could have done, man. They were great. Harrison Smith was great in coverage. Andrew Van Ginkel had a sack. He's been explosive. He was not only getting sacks, but he was getting after the quarterback. I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel was amazing. Stephon Gilmore actually had a really good game. He had a really solid game because it felt like for majority of the season he wasn't really making plays, but he made some plays. And Jonathan Grenard, no thanks to he had a fumble force. No thanks to the referees for really overturning that. So I mean, officially it was where Matthew Stafford threw the ball forward, and it was not really recorded as a fumble for the Vikings. So I mean, it absolutely sucks how the referees just had to, but I'm not blaming this on the referees. If you think that's what I'm doing, I'm not doing that. But Jonathan Grenard was awesome, and I mean the entire defense was great. Everybody else I thought played really good, but except for I believe 3 units. I was gonna say, I mean, it's just 3 units that I'm gonna blame. The offensive line sucked. It was bad last night. I mean, they allowed 9 sacks. And another intriguing stat that I saw from last night's game from somebody was 8 of the 9 sacks that the Vikings had was a 4-man rush by the Rams. So clearly, though, it's not like the Rams blitzed a ton. I mean, they blitzed some, but it's not like they blitzed a lot. So 8 of those 9 sacks were thanks to the 4-man rush. And then so the offensive line is what it is, man. And it didn't help that Brian O'Neill went down. It did not help at all. They allowed 6 in the first half. They need a complete overhaul at the offensive line position. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The offensive line needs a complete overhaul. Garrett Bradbury, Blake Brandel, Ed Ingram, we need to be done. We need a complete overhaul except for Christian Darrisaw. We need guards and we need centers next season. And I'm going to choose to give Kwesi a pass in the free agency. You can only do so much in one season where you did need to sign a guard like Isaac Suomalo or really any guard that was really good out there in free agency. I mean, you needed to get one and it just didn't happen, but I'm not going to blame Kwesi. I'm going to choose not to blame Kwesi on this one. And then we get to the head coach, Kevin O'Connell. He got out coached last night, straight up, man. I mean, Sean McVay absolutely schooled him. So here's the deal, though, what I said about this game. And the reason why he does deserve some blame for this game is because, one, for putting Sam Darnold out there, as bad as he played, as terrible as he played, you decided to bring him out in the second half instead of Nick Mullins, where you knew you weren't winning anything with Sam Darnold, and he continued on with the same cycle and just decided to put Sam Darnold out there. And also your personnel decision to put him out there instead of trying to do what's best for the team hurt you more than helped you. And then the play calling in general was also atrocious. You decided to do long developing play action passes when the offensive line clearly wasn't protecting, and you still did it anyways. And also later when it was like a 27-9 game, you ran the football on first down for some reason. When you needed to score urgently, when you need to show urgency, you just didn't. So I don't understand what Kevin O'Connell was thinking last night, man. He needs to give up play calling straight up to somebody else. Not saying he should be fired or anything. I think I am perfectly comfortable with him really just giving it to somebody else, because Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, I feel like you need to give that a chance, man. Give it to somebody else, because he's clearly it's not working. 3 years in, it's not working. And you're 0-2 in playoffs. That's unacceptable, man. Sam Darnold also deserves a ton of blame. 25 of 40, 245 yards, a touchdown and interception. So, really, though, the turnovers that he did, one of them, the interception that he did throw, was just, he was staring down Justin. He took his eyes off of nobody else but to Justin Jefferson, forced it to him, and the Rams used that for a touchdown, and then also the forced fumble was on Sam Darnold too, where he just didn't roll outside the pocket. A terrible effort by Sam Darnold to get outside the pocket and try to make something happen. He's been doing it all season long. And he just stood there in the pocket, and then he just stood there and froze. And then the Rams took that to the house for a touchdown. So essentially, Sam Darnold gifted the Rams 14 points. And then, if he wasn't turning the ball over, he was missing throws. He was missing wide. He was overshooting guys. He was just sitting in the pocket, just sitting there. And some of the 9 sacks that the Vikings had was due to Sam Darnold just holding on to the ball too long. So, if it's one thing that I did learn from Sam Darnold in this game last night was we're done with the conversation of him staying over. We're done. So if there's anything to look forward to and anything to narrow down is that JJ McCarthy is the future and not Sam Darnold. Because I would feel a lot better for the potential upside of JJ McCarthy than I would with Sam Darnold right now. I am good with where I am standing on with that. He looked like Christian Pondergan. The last 2 big games that the quarterback needed to show up, The Lions game, okay, that was one game. It's not the end of the season, but in the wild card where your season is on the line, you just sat there and laid an egg. So Sam Darnold, I am completely good with moving on from him. And JJ McCarthy is the future, period. And so those are my blame game, Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold mainly, and the offensive line. I mean, mainly Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold are to blame for last night loss. But a lot to do next offseason. They are officially eliminated, and even though this absolutely sucks for all of you guys, I just want to thank y'all so much for the support. You know, even though it was misery last night, but I just want to thank you all very much for supporting this channel and riding and dying with us. You know, win or lose. So I really appreciate y'all very much. We got two seasons in, and this channel is going strong, man. I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Skull Vikings.